So, funny story, when I asked my dad to get Persona 5 Royale for me, cause I actually have a dad, he accidentally got me Persona 5 Strikers. Now, I don't really blame him. Persona 5 Strikers does sound like a different version of Persona 5 Royale, and because of that, I'll be reviewing Persona 5 Strikers instead. Persona 5 Strikers, made by the same people who gave us
I'm Sonic. Click on me for help.
Yeah, I can trust them. It was released in 2021 to positive acclaim. However, the main thing that people said about this game was that it wasn't as good as Persona 5 Royale. Well, I can say, after clocking in a small 150 hours into this game in just 1 month, I can say that this game is very good, and it's honestly one of my new favorite games of all time. And strangely enough, I preferred playing this game before Persona 5 Royale, but I'll explain why I think that later. That means that we first start off with the... This game's music is incredible, and it's honestly one of my new favorite OSTs. Now there's so much I could say about this OST, from the jamming vocal tracks, the awesome remixes to songs of Last Surprise and Rivers in the Desert, or the chill real world themes. Every single song here hits harder than a nuke, and it makes the game exponentially better. If you had to ask me about my favorite songs, I'd probably say the remix to Last Surprise, or You Are Stronger, that being the main theme song of the game. I also forgot to say the theme song for this game is also very good, as you can tell with it being my second favorite song in the entire game. It's very action-packed, just like the actual game itself. Now, another thing I have to praise this game for is the battle tracks. Now you'd think after listening 150 hours of Last Surprise and Takeover, I would have gotten sick of them. But no, I still listen to these songs in my daily life, like when I'm going to the gym or when I'm studying. And that's honestly quite an achievement, considering that Sonic Unleashed, also made by the same people, that battle music gets so repetitive I have to mute the TV. Now, if you can't get this game because you're broke or because you have some hatred towards cute anime girls, then I still recommend listening to the music on Spotify. That brings me to the next section. This game's story is important and you should care about it. And, oh my god, there is a lot to talk about. So, I stars Joker, no, not that Joker, and your gang, I mean team. Meathead, Goonerbait, Girl Boss, I think he might be gay, Furry, Nerd, and my girlfriend. And I'll get into opinions of each of those characters later in my character section. So, the story goes like this. After the events of the first game where the gang did some stuff, it is now summer vacation and it's time for your friends to meet up again. But oh no, some woman is taking people's desires to funnel men into her OnlyFans by funding them on this new app called Emma, and now you have to stop her. So, as a quick explanation, in the real world, the Phantom Thieves are normal people, but in the cognitive world, slash metaverse, which is the world which is created and shaped by the thoughts of people, all I really need to know is the Phantom Thieves gave their power, and it is here where people's desires are being stolen by the monarch of these tales. When a person's desire is taken, they basically become a slave, and the monarch can make you do whatever they want with you in the real world. So now, after you stop Bunny, you learn that this is happening all over the country. No, not the OnlyFans part, but people's desires have been stolen. So you and your friends set off on a road trip around Japan. Yeah! You go around Japan stopping the bad guys, eating good food, and comparing breast sizes. Very normal stuff for a video game. For every ruler, you also get a section explaining their trauma and why they're doing this bad stuff, which makes the villains all the more human. What is their trauma? I'm not telling you. Play the game. Throughout the game, you also meet some new members such as Sophia, the AI waifu who you found in the first jail, and Zenkichi, a policeman who's working with you to put these rulers behind bars. Interesting events happen between the dungeon crawling as you learn about Zenkichi's daughter Akane, a bitter teenager who feels anger towards her father for not catching the person who killed her mom and also Zenkichi's wife in a hit and run. Now, why was he not caught? Because the murderer was the big cheese of the police sector, and as we all know, the rich and powerful get away with everything, just as we saw a few months with the Xing Files. Your team, especially Makoto, gained a liking for Akane, and of course, the CEO of Matisse turns her into a mine to trap the Phantom Thieves. So you do a quick stealth mission with Zenkichi as he doesn't have a persona, and then he gains a persona in whatever the hell this is. And then you feed the Phantom Thieves and you save Akane. After you start the CEO of Matisse, the company responsible for Emma, you learn that people's hearts are still being stolen as Emma is still on. And after going to the jail near the Tokyo Tower where the signal is the strongest, you learn about Sophia's backstory and she dies. Well, not really, but you save Frank and confront Emma and the Tree of Everlasting Wisdom and Knowledge. And now what is the plan? Emma plans to guide humanity to the promised land, around which the metaverse where there is no suffering, anxiety, or conflict. Sounds great, but this comes at the cost of your free will. Why is Emma doing this? Because after some evaluation, Emma has concluded that desires are the cause of humanity's problems, and by taking away people's desires, people will feel happiness. Emma, of course, evolves into a false god known as the Demiurge, the most obvious solution, and the Phantom Thieves believe that the only way to feel true happiness is by free will and chasing one's own desires, and while it might cause sadness down the line, you eventually feel better because of the hard work that you put in. So now the thieves do the one thing that makes the most sense. Fight a literal god, destroy the Demiurge, and the day is saved. Hooray! The Phantom Thieves head back to their lives where they will eventually meet again in the sequel to the sequel. Now, this story is very hard for me to explain, and I truly think that for you to understand it, you need to play through the game. And yes, I did have to look up some story beats on Google. However, I still think that the story is great. The premise itself and the themes of free will, AI's control over humanity, and the horror of friendship is very interesting and also quite deep. But it isn't as serious as you think. And this game can be quite funny, as you and your friends get into some skullduggery, like that one scene when Futaba gets on Ryuji's back and
Feast your eyes on the splendor that is the classic movie poster pose! Hentai!
look, okay, this scene made me laugh, okay? Call me weird, but this scene is funny, okay? The game also knows when to switch from the fast-paced, action-packed gameplay to scenes when you and your friends chilling and eating food. The new characters have great arcs. Zenkichi putting the man who killed his wife behind bars, and Sophia learning what a heart is was truly heartwarming to see. The monologue that Sophia has near the end of the game is probably the best part of the story. The desperation in her voice bundled up with her anger and sadness was really heartwarming to see. It helps to strengthen your connection with your friends, and though I haven't played Persona 5 Royale, I still enjoyed this story as there aren't many connections to Persona 5 Royale other than niche references which I do not get. Now on to... The looks of this game can be summarized with one word: style. Everything about this game is stylized all to the very end, from cool animations extending to the menus, to incredible opening scenes, all the way to flashy slow time attacks with big explosions. This game oozes charm. I mean, look at the pause screen. It's bold, it's loud, Joker's friends are on each part of the pause screen, and it feels so cool navigating it. This is my favorite pause screen of all time by a long way. And now, the characters in this game look nice. They all have clothing which look good on them, especially Haru. I mean, she looks beautiful in her knee-length pink sleeveless dress with white vertical stripes and a pleated skirt. It really matches her, and I also love that hat that she has on. Honestly, I don't know whether I like her hat in the real world or her hat in the cognitive world. I mean, I love her design in general. I mean, she looks beautiful. This game also remembers that it is Japanese, with famous locales stripped straight from Japan like Tokyo Tower and Shibuya Crossing, the Japanese cuisine featuring such classics such as okonomiyaki and crab hot pot, but there isn't any flavored cheese. No flavored cheese. How can Japan without flavored cheese? And the 5 million 7-Elevens, because it wouldn't be Japan without a 7-Eleven every 2 meters. I mean, as a person who's been to Japan once, I really like Japan, and it is definitely a top 3 country. They have cheap games there. I mean, I got Splatoon 2 there. I really liked it. And yeah, no flavored cheese means it's not an accurate representation of Japan. 0 out of 10. Next. Now there's one thing which I find weird, and it's that when you get near an NPC, they disappear from reality. Like, come on, okay, I know I'm not good with the ladies, but I didn't know it was that bad that they just disappeared when I left, when they were near me. There's only one crowd area in the game, so I don't really know why the game has to do this, but I guess it's to make sure that the game doesn't really lag as much on Switch. And yes, I did play this game on Nintendo Switch, so screw me. And I know you're wondering why all the videos that I put on have PlayStation controllers. It's because that I'm using other footage from other playthroughs just because it just looks a lot nicer and I don't really have a capture card. Anyway, so the game lags a lot in combat. However, all the problems go away in dock mode, and I will say the game looks pretty nice on Switch when you put it in dock mode, and even in handheld mode, it still looks quite nice, so I really can't complain that much. Up next... The characters in this game are great, and I will not be taking any other opinions. Now why? It's because that the characters have a great chemistry with each other. Maybe if I played Persona 5 Royale before, then I could see the gang go from strangers to friends, but here, all the characters are funny and get a similar amount of screen time to each other. It's really hard to explain, but I don't hate any of these characters, and none of these characters are forgettable. They're also very complex and have depth, such as when Makoto talks to Akane what it's like to have a dad who isn't home a lot. That was quite emotional. Or Haru's talk with Shadow Marker telling her not to give up. The characters are also quite funny, not in the they tell lame joke kind of way, rather just by being themselves. I mean, you already saw that Futaba scene. Haru's driving scene is so funny. Like, I laughed so hard during this scene and it made me want to crack. I mean, like Haru even more.
Haru? I think I'll be just fine. In fact, I have a special technique that'll make your head spin. Is she okay? I'm getting a bad feeling about this.
So I've never really told you guys this, but the moment Haru's hands touch the wheel...
Get ready to shift into overdrive!
And that look on her face afterwards, she knows what she did. She knows very well. Yes, Haru Okumura is the girl on the body pillow. I know, you're all shocked. And yes, she is my favorite character in Persona 5 Strikers. And yes, when I get Persona 5 Royale, or if I get, I am only going to be dating Haru. No one else. I'm not dating any of the other girls. I'll max out their confidence to 100% it, but I'm only dating Haru. I just couldn't have it on my conscience. Cheating on... And I mean, come on. How can I not love somebody who just...
Sorry about that. We just despised the police is all.
I mean, she says that with a straight face while smiling, okay? She has so many scenes where she does this and it's just so funny. And now finally, I can answer the true question. Is Persona 5 Strikers a Gunner game? No? Okay, now it's a weird thing for me to say because it isn't just a yes or no answer. Rather, this game is completely normal sometimes, but then in a couple scenes it's kind of weird. This game is an anime game and it's also M-rated, so that makes it suspect for Gunner bait. And part of me thinks when I asked my dad for the game, he realized this and looked at me really weirdly. That's probably why he said that game is for weirdos, but I'm not gonna listen to him. What does he know? Now, there was some stuff which makes the game impossible to glaze. Some of the Persona designs are quite sus. However, the main Gunner bait comes in the form of Aunt Takamaki. I don't hate her. I like her. Well, I thought her story was okay and she has some funny moments, and I can tell that Sega likes An. I mean, I can tell that Sega really likes An. I mean, from scenes that show her off and her tight outfit showing all curves to Futaba outright stating,
Whoa, An! Are those CGI? What cheat codes did you use to get those? Dieting life hacks? You're so skinny, yet...
Could you stop drawing attention to me? Go bother Haru instead. Hers are no different.
Stop it! Haru, not bad. These could knock someone flat.
Could you please keep it down? Remember, it's not only us in here.
and okay, look, it's one thing to put her in a bikini, but it's a whole other thing to point the camera directly at her breast, like they knew what they were doing.
Oh man, the water's so clear.
Wow! Okinawa's the friggin' best!
And I guess the thing that makes me feel really uncomfortable is the fact that she's 17 years old. And yes, that is above the age of consent, but I still think that Atlas' hard drive needs checking. Another thing is the 2 bathhouse scenes. Look, first of all, you see 3 naked dudes in the tub on the TV, and your friends are gonna think that you're gay. But the second bathhouse scene has that thing where like the guys are caught for being perverts and staring at the girls, but they don't actually mean to because they were like in the hot spring when the girls came, and like they didn't alert the girls. Like they still think they should have, and then like they weren't supposed to be in, but they accidentally were because no one told them to get out. But it's really funny because Makoto beats the hell out of the guys. They are dead now. She committed animal abuse. 10 out of 10. Call me woke, but that scene is funny. I mean, it literally plays the all-out attack sound effect. And now that finally brings me on to... Hell yeah! This game is an action JRPG, which means it's a hack and slash. And yes, it is a genre well known for being mindless button mashing, but this game's combat is so complex, I can't explain it to you. Yet, I'm going to explain it to you. So you have a melee attack which deals damage, but then you can use your special which to create more complex combos on a gun which allows you to shoot at enemies, but takes away at ammo. And then things become more complex with the persona system. By pressing R on the Nintendo Switch, you can use a persona, and you can spend SP, stamina points, or HP to do stuff. Now SP is used to activate elemental attacks such as fire, ice, wind, psychokinesis, electric, nuke, blast, curse, and almighty. Different enemies are strong to weaken certain elements, except for almighty damage, which no enemy is resistant nor weak against. They either inflict something onto the enemy, like fire giving burn, ice giving freeze, electric giving shock, or they're amplified by the status effects by like nuke being strong against enemies who are burning, freezing, or in shock, Psy being strong against enemies with status ailments, sleep, fear, rage, and forget, and wind being good against burning enemies. When this happens, you deal technical damage, which deals a lot of damage and also gets rid of the enemy's shield bar, which once it reaches 0, allows you to do an all-out attack, which deals a ton of damage. You can also take away from the shield bar by dealing the type of damage that it is weak to. Oh yeah, and also about physical attack. They deal Fizz type damage, not to be confused with Psy type damage, and it costs HP to use. Don't worry, you regain that HP back slowly, but physical attacks also deal technical damage when any sort of style ailment is dealt to them. Freeze, shock, sleep, fear, rage, and forget. There's also a Showtime meter which fills up when you use a character in battle, and when it goes up to max, you can use a Showtime attack, which also deals a lot of damage. And remember those personas? Well, you can get personas by either killing enemies which might drop that persona with the same abilities, or you can go into the Velvet Room, where this random child will fuse personas with the personas you already have. Yes, this is quite complex for a spin-off, but I really don't think that it's bad. In fact, I love the combat system. There's a lot of strategy in figuring out the best way of dealing with enemies, and the multiple characters with unique playstyles you can use makes the game a lot more interesting. I use Joker for the most part just because he's the best, but I love Haru. I mean, I love playing as Haru. Genuinely, her playstyle is so fun to use. She hits hard, and her grenade launcher attack is so fun to use, seeing all those shadows die in front of you.
Cutting down the enemy as they approach. What a thrill!
Nor, I'd appreciate it if you held off on the homicidal remarks until after you put your weapon down.
There is just one problem with liking Haru though. There aren't any plushies of her that aren't small or shaped like a burrito. Like, come on, how could you lead me on only just to shoot me down like that? Shame on you, Sega. Shame on you. Now, on to my final section. I love this game, plain and simple. There's nothing much about this game that I hate, and I'd recommend this game to pretty much anybody, even though whenever I do, I get called a hentai lover. Yet, it is always seen as worse than Persona 5 Royale, and it feels as if that's the only thing it's seen as. However, I still think that there's a lot of merit to this game. Yes, while this game might be less complex than Persona 5 Royale, it might not have such a great story as Persona 5 Royale, it might not have such a long playtime as Persona 5 Royale, but there's still a lot in this game to love, and it's way more complex than most games that you'd see. I mean, I spent 150 hours on this game, falling in love with the characters, listening to the heartfelt stories, and hearing the incredible vocals. 150 hours of my life dedicated to a bloody spin-off. If this is what a spin-off is, then I'm terrified to think of how long Persona 5 Royale will take. But I am happy to have played this game. as I now have a deeper appreciation towards this game. I now will not see this game as worse than Persona 5 Royale. I will see this game as an incredible spin-off that got me into the Persona series. After seeing the credits roll, signifying I'd 100% the game, I thought to myself, wow, what a game. Until next time, fans and thieves, when I go crazy and try to marry Haru Okumura. Goodbye! If you've reached the end of this video, I just want to give you a massive thank you for getting to the end. I hope you enjoyed this video, and yeah, that's pretty much all I gotta say.